All right, let's read Lucy and Clark, A Story of Puppy Love by Ashley I. and Jared. Clark is a happy dog who loves superheroes, a good belly scratch, and his best friend, Tanner. One of Clark's favorite activities is playing with Tanner in the leaves in the fall, in the snow in the winter, and in the flowers in the spring. But Clark didn't like to go to the park in the summer. "Why don't you go out there and play with the other dogs?" asked Tanner. Said Clark. "Maybe in a little while." Clark roamed around the park by himself, dodging the big dogs as they wrestled and the little dogs as they jumped and played together. They scared Clark. He didn't know any of them, and they were always so loud. After a few laps around the park, Clark made his way to the water bowl. Just as he was about to take a sip, a pretty dog dashed in front of him. "Hi, I'm Lucy," she said. "You should come play with us." Clark was so nervous he didn't know what to say. He had never seen such a beautiful dog before. All he could do was stare. "Well," said Lucy, "hope to see you over there." Clark was still distracted when he heard, "Ready to go home, buddy?" Tanner hooked Clark's leash to his collar and led Clark out of the park. Just before Clark went through the gate, he looked back at Lucy. Next time, he thought. Later that night, Tanner noticed Clark wasn't eating his food. That was not like him. "What's up, Clark?" Tanner asked. "Aren't you hungry?" "No," Clark responded. "Does this have to do with the park today?" asked Tanner. "Why don't you ever play with the dogs there?" "Well, I don't know any of them," said Clark. Tanner smiled. "You know you can't make friends without saying hi first." "Well, I wanted to play fetch with the dog at the water bowl, but I was too scared to ask," Clark said. "Well, sometimes the stuff we're scared of turns out to be not so scary after all," Tanner said. "Do you know what I used to be scared of? Come on, I'll show you." "Ah, spiders!" screamed Clark. Where's the spider in the spider web? "Ugh, I hate spiders. They have long, creepy legs, and they can be hairy, and some even jump," Clark said. "Well, that's what I thought so too," said Tanner. "I never used to play in the garden because I was afraid of them crawling on me. But then I held one in science class and realized it wasn't that bad. Here, hold out your paw." "All right, hold out your paw." Clark held his breath as the spider slowly crawled onto his paw. "See," said Tanner, "sometimes you have to be brave like a superhero and face your fears to get the things you want in life. Next time you're at the park, you should ask Lucy to play." And then there's the spider on his nose, and he's not scared anymore. The next day, the sun was shining. Clark knew this meant Tanner would take him to the park, but was he ready to talk to Lucy? He wasn't so sure. He wanted to be brave like his superhero idols and his best friend Tanner, but he could already feel the nerves buzzing through his body. Tanner and Clark arrived at the busy park full of energetic dogs. They were playing frisbee, chasing balls in the fields, and digging in the dirt. It didn't take long for Clark to spot Lucy's fluffy coat glimmering in the sunlight. She was playing with other pups of all sizes and colors, even one with a spiky collar. There he is with his spiky collar. "That's her, isn't it?" asked Tanner. Clark was so nervous he couldn't respond. How could he possibly work up the courage to ask any of the dogs to play, let alone Lucy? "Here," said Tanner, "I've got something for you. This should help." Tanner leaned down and unzipped his backpack to reveal a red cape. "I think this is your size." Wrapping the cape around Clark, he immediately noticed his pooch's mood change. Clark was now ready to play. "I feel like a superhero," said Clark, turning to face his best friend. "I'll be right back." Sprinting faster than a race car, leaping over puddles in a single bound, Clark was practically flying when he reached Lucy. "Hi, Lucy, I'm Clark. Can I play fetch with you?" he asked with confidence. "Hi, Clark. Sure, we need another player," said Lucy. "That's such a cool cape. I want one. I hope it helps you catch me." Lucy sped off with Clark following closely behind. For the first time at the dog park, Clark felt like he had a friend. They played fetch for the rest of the day, and from that day on, Lucy and Clark were best friends for life. The end.